Hello and welcome back to my sales video series on sales negotiations. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 4 negotiation styles and when to use them. First is the competitive style. The word says it all. Here you view the other party as your competition and you're both concerned about who gets the bigger share of the pie. So he who gets 51% is the winner and he who gets 49% is the loser. Well, this is best used when it's a one-time deal and this is a short-term relationship. Here, you don't care about what happens afterward. Like for example, if you're buying a used car or leasing a flat for a short-term period, or if you're getting married and you want a hotel for a one-off event, you don't care what happens afterward. You want to be as competitive as you can be. Now, the second is the avoidance style. This is to be used usually by one of the two parties when they cannot make a decision or perhaps want to delay the process. So, for example, you want to pass on a price increase to your customer and they simply ignore you, delay in responding to your emails, or do everything possible not to meet with you. Have you ever had that happen to you? Well, you might be laughing right now because you've had them do that, right? Okay, the third style is the accommodating style. This is used when you're in a weaker position, if you have no other option, or simply you or your company have made some significant mistakes that you cannot look the customer straight in the eyes. So here you might want to appease the situation and you give a little bit more than you have to so that you make things a bit cooler. But be careful, sometimes customer demands are unreasonable and they utilize our lack of delivery as a tax to make us accommodate in the future. So, for example, a customer calls you last minute and makes a huge request. Like, could you please design us this software or make this delivery, especially if the product is coming out of the country. Now, of course, you fall short and all of a sudden you see yourself in a situation that you have to accommodate future discounts or favor just to help gain favor back with the customer and gain their trust. Now, the fourth style is the collaborating style. This is used when you have an ongoing relationship with that customer. You know that you're going to have to live with whatever you do forever. So if you do things right and fair, you win, the customer wins, and the whole relationship wins, right? To do this right, it's not about who gets the most out of the pie. It's how can we make the pie even bigger. So instead of fighting over a percentage, how can we make the absolute bigger for all parties involved? Give you an example. Dealing with a local food distributor here in the GCC, margin can be quite sensitive. So working with a multinational, I had some standards I had to adhere to and at the same time be able to attract new distributors. Now knowing that what they wanted is profit, regardless if they get it from my products or what other products they sell, I was able to understand and provide some support, for example, in training their staff, giving them capability, and that was appealing to my new partner. Margin wasn't the issue. See, the value added here is that they were going to be equipped with better tools to grow their overall business, and of course ours along with that. Now, that is thinking out of the box. Now, there is one less commonly known negotiation strategy, and that is to compromise. Now, we've all had to compromise. But when should you compromise? As you know, all children like things for themselves. They learn to give and share things eventually. I remember growing up with 5 other brothers and sisters. I had to compromise on many things. Like, for example, I wanted to have all the candy and chocolate for myself. So my mom would say, well, you have to share. Well, I didn't want to share. I wanted them all for me. But she made me give some up. Well, the result is that I'd always want the share that my brothers took from me. But if you think about it, most sources of trouble between many countries are their borders. Why? Because when they went to divide them up, each party ended up wanting a piece of what the other party took from them. If you think about the borders between India or Pakistan or Iran and Iraq, Israel and Egypt, well, this is what compromises causes. Now that being said, when should we compromise? When should you compromise? Well, late in the negotiation process, and especially where there is just a small gap in the desired result and you can live with the consequences to close the deal. So for example, you want to pay 700 dirhams for a room for an event that you're organizing for your company, and the hotel is asking $740. Here, the difference is close enough and both parties can live with it, so they can meet halfway, let's say at $720. Now notice, if the difference is too big, say $400 and $700, it just won't work, especially in a long-term relationship. Unless the buying company sees value of paying 740 dirham, it'll never be prepared to pay more than 400. And if ever they decide to compromise, say they meet at 550, and the hotel can sell the rooms at 740, then this will leave a bad taste in their mouth and lead to them not wanting to do business again with that customer. See, it became then quite competitive. Was this helpful? Look, to learn more about how to become a power negotiator here in the Middle East, join me at my upcoming Sales Negotiation Mini Bootcamp, where you'll discover more of my best negotiation secrets ever. If you haven't registered yet, click on the link below right now to reserve your seat, as this event will sell out. See you there.